Bonface Tool, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me on this journey towards smarter money moves, real hustle, and big dreams. Let me take you back a bit, back to my own story. Start of chapter. I wasn't born into wealth. Far from it. Growing up in a small village in Kenya, most of my days were simple: school, helping with chores, and hoping that one day things would somehow change. Money was always tight. My parents did what they could, but I quickly learned that if I wanted more, I had to go out and make it happen myself. By the time I was a teenager, I was already trying small hustles. Selling fruits to my classmates, helping neighbors with their farms, fixing bicycles, anything that would put a few extra shillings in my pocket. I didn't have the luxury of waiting for opportunity to knock. I decided to go looking for it. And let me tell you, it was not easy. There were days I failed so badly I thought I'd never try again. There were people who told me, "Kijana, just focus on school, hustle will never take you anywhere." But I kept going. Key lesson? Every hustler's path begins with believing you can do more, even if nobody else sees it. That belief carried me into my 20s. I took every odd job I could find, saved whatever I could, and most importantly, learned. Learned about money, about people, about business. I read books, listened to other hustlers' stories, and observed successful people in my community. Every experience, the good and the bad, was like a stepping stone. And that's what this book is all about. I want to share those stepping stones with you. Whether you're starting with nothing but an idea or you already have a small business and need a push to grow, I want you to know one thing: you are capable of more than you imagine. Closing thought for the chapter. Your journey might not look like anyone else's, and that's okay. What matters is that you take the first step and then the next one. Because an ordinary person can build an extraordinary life, one hustle at a time. Chapter 2: Why Saving is Not Enough. Welcome back to the Hustler's Path. In the last chapter, I shared a bit about my journey. Today, I want to tackle one of the biggest myths we grow up with, that saving alone will make us wealthy. Start of chapter. Growing up, most of us were told, save your money if you want to succeed. And sure, saving is important. It teaches discipline, and it's much better than blowing all your cash. But here's the hard truth: saving alone is not going to make you rich. Let me explain. Imagine you're earning Kenyan shillings 20,000 a month. If you manage to save even 5,000 every single month, you'll put aside Kenyan shillings 60,000 a year, a decent sum. But what will that do for you after 5 years? 300,000 shillings is helpful, yes, but not life-changing. Inflation eats into that money. Opportunities pass you by. That's why the wealthy rarely talk about saving as their main strategy. They focus on putting money to work, investing, building businesses, creating assets that generate income even when they sleep. Key lesson? Saving is a good first step, but you cannot save your way to true financial freedom. That money sitting in your account? It's like a seed. If you never plant it in fertile soil, in a business, in a skill, in an asset, it will never grow into a tree that bears fruits year after year. Real example. I remember a friend who was earning less than me, but he was investing every extra shilling into starting a small online shop. In 2 years, his shop was making him more than his salary, and he quit his 9-to-5 job. That's the power of putting money to work. And here's the good news. You don't need millions to start. Even with as little as Kenya shilling 500 or Kenya shilling 1,000, you can begin testing small hustles like buying and selling second-hand clothes, starting a tiny side business, or joining a charmer with friends who have similar goals. Closing thought for Chapter 2. Never feel guilty for saving. It's a habit you need. But remember, saving is only step 1. The real magic happens when you invest those savings into something that can grow. That's what separates someone who just stays safe from someone who builds wealth. And as we move to the next chapters, we'll talk more about what kinds of investments work for everyday people, especially right here in Kenya. End of Chapter 2. Chapter 3, Side Hustles That Work in Kenya. Welcome back to the Hustler's Path. In this chapter, we're going practical. We'll look at side hustles that actually work in Kenya, whether you live in the city, town, or village. Start of chapter. If there's one thing Kenyans know, it's how to hustle. Whether it's the mama selling vegetables in the neighborhood or the youth repairing phones by the roadside, the entrepreneurial spirit is alive everywhere. But let's talk about the kinds of side hustles that can truly grow, not just make you a quick buck today, but also help you build something bigger for tomorrow. 1. Online freelancing. With the internet, your skills can earn you money globally. Writing articles, graphic design, virtual assistants, these kinds of gigs pay in dollars. Even better? They require very little to start, just your time and skill. Sites like Upwork, Fiverr, and even local WhatsApp and Facebook groups can connect you with clients. 2. Buying and selling, mitumba and beyond. Mitumba business is a Kenyan favorite because it works. Buy good quality second-hand clothes cheaply in Gikomba or online wholesale shops, then sell them at a markup on Instagram or in your neighborhood. You can also do the same with handbags, shoes, or even household items. With patience and consistency, you'll grow a steady client base. 3. Farming and agribusiness. Even with a small plot or backyard, farming can make serious money. Vegetables like sukuma wiki, spinach, and onions are always in demand. And don't forget poultry. A few kienyeji chickens or layers can give you eggs to sell every day. The beauty of agribusiness is that you can scale up slowly as you gain experience. 4. Digital content creation. You're seeing it everywhere, people making money as TikTokers, YouTubers, or podcasters. If you enjoy sharing your ideas or entertaining people, you can grow an audience online. With consistency, this can lead to monetization through ads, sponsorships, and product sales. Delivery and errand services. If you have a motorbike or can partner with someone who does, offering delivery services is a booming opportunity. As more people shop and order food online, reliable riders are in high demand. Start small, partner with a few shops or restaurants and let your good service speak for itself. Key lesson? All these side hustles have one thing in common: they require consistency and creativity. You don't need to quit your main job or have a big capital at the start. You just need the drive to look for problems and offer solutions, the Kenyan hustle way. Closing thought for Chapter 3. Never wait for the perfect time to begin. Your first hustle may be small, your profits modest, and that's fine. The most successful hustlers I know didn't wait for someone to give them permission. They just started, learned along the way, and kept going. And that's what I want for you too. Pick one side hustle that suits your skills and your situation, and take that first small step. Your future self will thank you. End of Chapter 3. Chapter 4, The Myth of No Capital, How to Start Anyway. Welcome back to the Hustler's Path. In this chapter, we're going to tackle one of the most common excuses people have for not starting their hustle: I don't have capital. Start of chapter. Have you ever had a brilliant idea for a business but stopped because you thought you didn't have enough money? You're not alone. But let me tell you a secret: you don't always need a lot of money to begin. That's a myth that keeps most people stuck. Start with what you have. Every great business started small. Whether it's the shopkeeper who began by selling a few items on a roadside table or the tech entrepreneur who started by offering services on WhatsApp, they didn't wait for big funding. They began where they were, with what they had. Bootstrap mentality. Bootstrapping means building a business by using your own savings and creativity, not loans or big investors. That might mean starting by offering a skill you already have. Tutoring students in a subject you're good at. Selling handmade crafts. Doing repair work for your neighbors. Each of these requires little or zero capital, just your energy and resourcefulness. Use resources around you. Look around. What assets do you already have? A smartphone, internet, free time? Your parents' backyard you could use for chickens? A talent like baking or drawing? When you look at these as capital, you'll discover there's more opportunity than you thought. Start small and reinvest. If you make even a small profit, Kenya shilling 500 or Kenya shilling 1,000, put most of it back into the hustle. That's how you grow. Every little bit reinvested becomes more capital, allowing you to do more next time. Key lesson? It's never really about how much you have at the start, it's about starting. Money follows action. Once you begin, you'll spot opportunities you never noticed before. And when people see your commitment, they'll want to help you grow. Closing thought for Chapter 4. The myth of no capital is one of the biggest lies that can hold you back. You can always do something small to kickstart your dream, right here, right now. Your hustle doesn't need millions to begin, it needs you to take the first step. So go ahead, look around, identify one skill, one asset, one small idea, and get moving. That's where every big dream starts. End of Chapter 4.